Hello Capricorn, thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Vice Versa Tarot. There's some names of the creators on the side if I can get it to focus. That way if you want to look them up, you can look up and support their work if you'd like to. There's also a website, let me give you that too, in case you want it, of course. Feel free to freeze frame and check that out. It's at the bottom, it's the last line. There's more information there if you're interested, obviously, but feel free to check that out if you decide worthy. There we go. Supportive Oracle cards, Magical Spell cards. I clearly love this deck by Lucy Cavendish. Illustrated by Jesse Reish. There's the website at the bottom for that. Feel free to freeze frame and check that out if you'd like to as well, of course. What do we got for Capricorn? Oh, that's not bad. It's funny that I said that, though. Other people might not like it, but that's other people. What does that mean? I guess we'll find out. I'm not willing to get involved in people's mistakes. Okay. You are watching. You always watch, but I feel like I'm watching. What is that? The Six of Cups. The Six of Cups. But there's like, I'm not willing to get involved in something that I've already moved on from. I'm not willing to get involved with something that I've already moved on from. I'm trying to figure out what else you're doing here, because, like, no, I feel like I'm not going to get involved in it. Okay, the only way I feel like this could even matter to you, because I'm like, why are we even bothering down this? If you're not going to get involved with it anyway, then why are we even going there? If down the road, by not realizing what's going on, because you're like, I'm not going to get involved with that. I've already healed from that. I've already learned what I needed to learn from that. I'm not here to repeat that. So if you're going to do that, that's on you. I completely see why that makes sense. Like, why you wouldn't. I feel like it's going to cause you issues later, though. It's like second hand, third hand. It's like I end up picking up somebody's mess, and it's gonna make you unhappy. It is gonna make you unhappy. I don't want to be involved. I keep getting this. Like, I don't want to be involved with this. I don't want to do it. And I'm like, that's them. I don't need to be involved with it. That's them. I've already gone through this. I don't want to do this again. But somebody's lacking. This is the backside, I believe, of the Seven of Pentacles. It's not even that, like, it's not ready. It's like, I don't feel like they know what they have. It's not ready to... The situation isn't ready to move forward. So if they try to harvest it now, that's going to cause damage. But also, they don't really know what they have. I think you do, though. But it's kind of like, whoever the person is, I'm like, I don't really want to deal with them. It might be a big piece of it. Kind of like, yeah, I don't really want to deal with them. Somehow this is going to circle back to you, though, and you're going to end up having to deal with it, and it's going to make you very unhappy, is what I'm getting. Because I'm staying out of it. I'm like, hey, I have my own things to deal with. I got my own responsibilities, and I do well with my responsibilities. Your responsibilities, your problem. How is it circling around to you? Like, why? How? How is it circling around to you? I also got to get these Oracle cards out here, because I'm like, something isn't right, and it's annoying. Yeah, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they have. I'm getting the Imagination card next to this, which just seems to back up the same information. Like, they don't know. They can't see it. They don't see what's actually there. They don't get it. Whew, not happening. Four of Swords again shows up on the dice, and the Empress. Okay, so the Empress comes in a good way. Not only if you get involved, do you not have to deal with fallout later, but I feel like you could get added benefit that you... I feel like that's not a question. You already know that. You already know that. There's added benefit for you, and you know that. But it's like, it's dealing with the fallout later. It's almost like, you know, Cousin Eddie, I don't know, from National Lampoon's Cousin Eddie. Cousin Eddie, you know, they're going to come to visit, but you're like, well, they're not staying at my house, so I don't have to deal with it. Meanwhile, whatever goes on, you know, somebody like from your house goes over there, catches the flu from Cousin Eddie, then comes back to your house, and then everybody at your house has the flu now. So you're like, well, I didn't think Cousin Eddie was going to be an issue because he wasn't staying at our house, but one of the people that live here visited, got the flu from Cousin Eddie, now we all got the flu. And we were avoiding them because we didn't want to get the flu. Just to make it simple, you know. That's how I see this happening. It's like that's how it's coming. It's like that's why we weren't doing that. Like we were going to avoid that, so we didn't have that issue. We were going to get the mess. And it's like I wasn't expecting it to get the flu, but like that person comes in and they're a mess. So it's like I didn't want them here because I didn't want to mess at my place. And not that you're going to let them come to your place. I'm not saying that, but it's like we need to start getting involved with that before. Like it's kind of like, well, it's like after the fact they're like, well, yeah, we knew that they didn't feel that well, but we thought it would be fine. And it's kind of like, well, why did you let them come? If you knew that they were having stomach issues, head issues, why didn't you just tell them to stay home? Because if they didn't feel well anyway, how are they going to enjoy the situation? Not to mention getting everybody else sick. That's not a good situation. You'll probably find that out after the fact, if we're going to use the same analogy. If you get involved, you will nip this right in the bud before it's an issue. You will shut that down before it even happens. You'll be like, wait, what? You're having the stomach flu. Wait, how long has that been going on? Just for 2 days? Stay home. Do not come here. Do not go to so-and-so's house. And then you're also telling the people who live in your house, you better not go over there. If you're going to go over there, you're going to stay over there for 2 weeks. Do not come back here. I will run you over with the lawnmower. I will run you over with the lawnmower. Do not come back here. We will not be having that at this house. I will run you over with the lawnmower? Okay. I mean, you know, you got to make a point. You got to make a point. You know how to make a point. You do. I mean, you do. Is that the King of Pentacles? I think it is. And I'm noticing they're showing it at night, which is very interesting. Kind of like, you know where you are, and if you have to make the point and it's a little dark, then you'll make the point and it's a little dark, because I think my comment was a little dark. Keeping this before it becomes an issue, getting involved before it becomes an issue, you get to block whatever other problems were coming your way, and then you are also correcting something else along with it. Kind of like, all right, so Cousin Eddie was going to stay over there. How many people are going over there? And like, how many people need to be over there? Like, that's too many people in one house. Let's rearrange this. Let's redo this. I'm not saying people are staying at my house. Actually, that one can. I actually like that one. So they can stay because they'll help out and they'll actually do their own dishes and clean up after themselves. So they can come stay here. I'll allow that one. But these other ones, we need to kind of like, instead of them all going to the one house, we need to like split it up between 3 or 4. This is just, that's asking for a disaster. And I feel like you're getting involved and you're like, this needs to be organized better. This doesn't make sense. Y'all are just sticking in one spot and that's not making sense at all. We don't need to be doing that. You're dividing it out. You're shutting down the problems. You're dividing out what's going on here. So it's kind of like the problem, we got that solved. Secondary problem, this is all clustered together. That's not efficient. So let's separate that out, reorganize it. I feel like it helps a lot because I feel like other people want to say stuff and either they're not or they're not effective with it. I know there's something else there, but I'm not sure exactly what it is. So I'm going to roll the dice on it. I guess we'll find out that way. The 5 of Swords and the Strength card. The 5 of Swords and the 5 of Cups. This 5 of Swords is like, what good does it do? Fruitless win. 5 of Cups is like seeing more of what failed rather than what went well. I feel like people aren't saying stuff because they don't think it's going to work out to their benefit, and they're just feeling like it's just going to cause more issues than anything else. You'll handle it either way, and they'll see in the long run that you were right. And even if they don't, who cares? You know what you're doing. I feel like I'm blocking things from being a problem. I'm settling this up, and then when I look back at it, I feel like you'll easily see like it was better that you said something versus that you didn't for your own happiness. I also feel like when you get involved, This also shifts some type of power dynamic. There are people here who are trying to walk over other people. I feel like that's happening. Certain people are getting walked on. And they were succeeding with that until you, if you get involved, they are succeeding with that. But once you do step in, I feel like that's, people learn like, oh, well, if Capricorn's going to get involved, I guess I'll just do something else. They'll leave that person alone. Or whatever. Whoever they're trying to walk over won't get walked over. You also might want to have a little side chat with that person about, having boundaries and holding those boundaries. Cat's a little zippy. I don't know. He's just zippy tonight. You might want to. Kind of like just giving them a heads up, like, listen, I can't be the one always holding the boundaries. You got to learn how to hold on to your own boundaries. The situation will move on. I feel like people, like, this just kind of works to your benefit overall. There's a problem here that if you get involved in the beginning, you don't have to deal with it in a negative sense later. I feel like the later, if I have to deal with it later, even if it's technically less, it ticks you off 10 times more than if just dealing with it. So even if it's less of a imposition, I don't know, even if it's less of something you have to deal with, whatever you want to say, it's 10 times as aggravating having to deal with it at the end. So, but it does move on. By you getting involved in the beginning, I feel like it goes away and it kind of like, well, if Capricorn's going to be involved, I'm not going to get away with things like I want to, so I guess I'll just forget it. And I'll just leave this whole situation alone. So that makes things better for you and for somebody else you care about is what I'm getting. I do highly recommend, if you notice that happening, to also like have a little side chat with that person about boundaries and holding boundaries. You know how to hold boundaries. I mean, you do. Capricorn tends to know how to hold boundaries. Letting go of those boundaries, that's another thing. But then again, we're not worried about that at the moment. It's holding the boundaries. Capricorn doesn't let go. When you get a boundary, there's a boundary, and that's that. Anything else? All right, I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.